Check that. There
There
we
we
go.
go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. There's some more. There's some more on the side. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining our ANC, our RASE committee meeting tonight. I'm gonna be off camera for a little bit. I'll get on a little later. The first order of business is I wanted to ensure that everyone had an opportunity to review the recommendation in regards to the renaming of H Street. Did everyone have a chance to review that?
Yep.
Okay, so next on
Very
our
good.
agenda is that as the committee, we need to vote in order to send that recommendation to the ANC. I have already sent it to the ANC, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but we need to have a vote and it's on the agenda for our next ANC meeting on November 24th. So I would like to call a vote for all the RAISE meeting members that are here. If you are in support of sending the recommendation on the renaming of H Street to the ANC committee. Second, Ty. Okay. So I don't know if we need to have all these seconds and everything, but I'm going to say that Ty did a second. And then everyone that's in favor, can you please raise your hand?
I mean, I can vote. I mean, I'm not on the RAISE committee, but
Okay. Okay. So I think that passes. Yeah, you can do the summer scholar book. So I think that passes, and we're going to move on to our next agenda meeting. Or Ron, did you have a question, or is that from Hope?
No, oh no, I'm just scratching.
no, you have your hand up.
Okay.
I do. Oh, my bad. I didn't do that on purpose. There we
Hi,
go.
Libby. Yeah,
Hey,
go ahead, Libby.
if there are a couple typos, do we still get, would you like me to just,
Yeah. Can you
yeah,
just edit them and send them back to me, and
yeah,
I'll resend it to the commission? Or
sure.
did you already email it to me?
Um, I tried to, but actually wasn't really able to. I have had, not a, it's since I'm traveling, I'll give it another shot.
Okay, if you could just edit it directly, I'll resend you the Word document and you can edit to fix those typos. And then when I
Yeah.
get that back from you, I'll send it to the commission. So
Okay.
Shannon, welcome. We just voted to
Hey, Shannon.
provide the recommendation to the ANC committee related to the renaming of the H Street, of H Street Northwest.
Fantastic. Well, hello.
Hi. Okay, Cal is joining now too. So once he get in, I'll update him and then Peter, we're gonna move to you.
Okay.
Hi, Cal. Welcome.
Hey, Cal.
Um, just so we have it on record, uh, Shannon and Cal, we just voted to provide the recommendation on the renaming of H Street to the ANC. Do you two agree and vote on that, on us providing that recommendation to that since we missed your vote earlier?
Yes.
Were there any changes since the last time we talked about this?
Libby just had a few typos and she's gonna correct that and
Th-
send
That's
it.
it. That's
Yep.
fine. Yeah, yes.
Corinthia,
Okay.
I couldn't find a way to raise my hand. And if we're still kind of revisiting discussion a little bit, I just wanted to point out this is really a question for the committee and for Ron potentially. DDOT has the right to, I mean, there's DC regulations about who names streets, ways, and alleys. Am I correct? Because what's in the Senate resolution is extremely short, but it directs the District of Columbia to erect 4 street signs. And my thinking is, maybe less is more as well. But I thought the resolution that comes from the ANC should be directed to DDOT, right? Is that right? Or what's your view?
Well, I don't have a
Well,
view.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
expressing an opinion on. Can you hear me, guys?
on a
Yeah.
Senate
Yep.
resolution.
Okay. I'm sorry. I have brand new earbuds, so I wasn't sure if they were working. It's expressing opinion about a resolution in Congress or a
Mhm.
Right. And
proposed
in
law.
reading the resolution, it says
You know,
nothing about
so it
Charlie Kirk. The resolution actually just renames the way and directs the district to erect 4 signs, but it doesn't say anything about Charlie Kirk. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
it doesn't.
No.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I don't know, and I'm not 100% sure whether it's ultimately DDOT or the council that you know
maintains
it does the I mean, DDOT would be responsible for locating signs, etc., but it may be that it's the council that ultimately has to vote on street names. I don't think it's all that important to
I don't
uh
necessarily either, but
what.
Corinthia, I'll
Okay.
send you the
So
text of the resolution. Have you seen the text of the resolution? Because it's
I have. So,
extremely
just because
short.
I've seen it. Yep. So I think Ron and Brian, you mentioned that is really irrelevant. So I think, are we okay to move on to our guest, Peter?
Sure.
Okay. Peter, thank you for coming. So this next part of our agenda was to the RAISE committee. I don't think everyone was just aware of your resolution last 2 weeks ago, maybe. So if you could just give a quick overview about that resolution, where it stands, and then the RAISE committee had drafted um a support letter in regards to your resolution, and that's it. And we're after you go through that, we're just going to vote on providing that support letter to the ANC just as an FYI.
Okay. Thanks, Corinthia. So as you probably know, as you were involved, after years of effort, um, uh, in December of 2022, the National Park Service erected a wayside exhibit along Connecticut Avenue, along the sidewalk as it enters the Chevy Chase Circle, giving some information about who Francis Newlands was and what his record was on a number of issues, including on race and immigration, where he was very racist and anti-immigrant. But it was a very tepid text that was the product of a conversation with between this community, the Maryland side, and the National Park Service. In September, the National Park Service reached out to the Friends of Chevy Chase Circle, which is a DC, Maryland community group that is overseeing many of the improvements to the circle, and said that to bring the Wayside exhibit into compliance with President Trump's executive order, whatever the number is, titled something like Bringing Sanity Back to American History, it was going to change the wording and the images on the sign. The Friends of Chevy Chase Circle and the National Park Service were engaged in conversations about what the changes might look like when, I guess it's now 3 Saturdays ago, the sign was removed right down to the foundations. Uh, uh, we believe that it was removed by a National Park Service crew, but we are told that the crew was not under the direction of the Rock Creek Park superintendent. At our November 10th ANC meeting, the commission unanimously passed a resolution that had several elements. It asked the National Park Service for an explanation for why the sign was removed. It asked the National Park Service to commit to returning the sign, and returning it on a fixed schedule so we know when to expect it to be replaced. And it asked that the National Park Service tell us what the changes it wants to make in the text and images are. And it finally said that if the National Park Service can answer these questions and can't give us some assurance of timeliness in terms of replacing the sign, that we as a commission, working with community groups, including Historic Chevy, perhaps Historic Chevy Chase DC, the Friends of Chevy Chase Circle, and so forth, would put the sign back ourselves. As it turns out that the sign was located on DC property and not on National Park Service land. So I think would be a good chance that we could replace it right where it was. The most recent development here is that yesterday, the Friends of Chevy Chase Circle, the president and basically the moving force, Ruth Robbins, had a quarterly meeting with Brian Joyner, the superintendent of Rock Creek Park. And Joyner said that they do intend to replace it. He was unable to answer detailed questions about text and images, changes in either of them. But they say they intend to replace it. I wrote to Joyner after hearing this and said I sent him the resolution as I did. I sent it to all sorts of people, including a number of people on this call. I said that I wanted to meet, and once I'd heard that he talked to the Friends of Chevy Chase Circle, and there was talk that National Park Service was going to replace the sign, I asked for an expedited conversation with him, and I'm scheduled to speak with him at noon and tomorrow. So I will find out whether they can answer the questions about when they intend to replace it and what changes, if any, they intend to make. So that's where we stand right now.
And you have that meeting tomorrow.
It's going to be a phone call. Yeah.
Good, great.
And you're going to also hopefully find out why it was removed, why they took it down.
I hope so. I think we have to show some sensitivity to to Brian Joyner. I mean, in conversations with other people have said that it was not his staff that removed it. So it wasn't in advance of the November 10th meeting. It wasn't clear who removed it. We understand that it was a National Park Service crew, but he said he knew. He said to other people he knew nothing about the removal.
And I guess you will find out tomorrow whether the new wording in that sign came from him and his crew or somebody else.
Say that again, Carol. I didn't catch the beginning of that.
Yeah, when you talk to Joyner tomorrow, I guess one of the things you're going to want to find out from him is where the new wording came from.
Yeah, but I suspect it will come from somebody other than the superintendent of Rock Creek Park, and I suspect he's going to have precious little to say about it. But these are just suspicions. I will ask him both what the wording, what if any changes in visuals will be, and something about their origin. But anyways, yeah, Ron, you.
I
Yeah.
I have a question, which is I don't know exactly how to frame it, but you're you're being so restrained, Peter, in this. Why aren't we? What is the strategy here? Why aren't we being uh, really pissed off and angry and demanding that they just put the sign back after it was the product of years of work from Carl and his people in Maryland's side? I mean, why aren't we being really angry and obnoxiously loud about this?
I talked to a number of groups, including Historic Chevy Chase and the Friends, about how they wanted to approach this. One of the questions that I asked was whether, given the sign was taken down, did we want to seek different additional tougher wording to the exhibit if we were to recreate it? I think the feeling that I got, and I think that this is reflected in the opinions of some of the commissioners, is that one, the easiest, fastest route to getting something done if the National Park Service will not do it is to simply reproduce what we'd already gotten agreement around. And two, I think that there's considerable concern about Joyner's position. And over the long haul, the superintendent of Rock Creek Park and the Friends of Chevy Chase Circle have had a very good working relationship. And I think there's a desire certainly on the part of the Friends to keep the relationship as stable as possible. So I mean, but certainly if it turns out that I mean, I think we can amp this up over time if it turns out that the National Park Service said, sure, we'll replace the sign. It's going to be all praise for Newland, and it'll be there in 2027. Then we can step up the pressure, and we can have a further conversation about
Yeah.
what.
Okay.
Okay, but I do think that if we could just get the sign back up there, either our version of it, I mean our manufacture of it, or theirs, that would be a pushback.
But Peter, were you referring actually before that to the possibility of having stronger language?
Look, my reading, the resolution that we passed, the resolution I drafted, simply calls for the return of the language and images on the sign that was removed.
Put the sign back. Yeah. Put the sign back.
Put the sign back. And Libby, my argument for that is that if you remember before the sign finally went up, I mean, we had an endless discussion. And if we go to try to get stronger language, we will be as slow as the National Park Service is likely to be in putting the sign back up. So I think the simple thing is they ripped it down with no warning. It gives us an opportunity to resist in the way that by just simply putting it back up. And we have the advantage that it's city land.
Can I weigh in for a second?
Yeah.
Of course, I was involved with drafting that language that went on the sign and selecting the images and so forth. And just want to remind people that it took 2 years for us to do that. So I'm endorsing what you just said, Peter. It took a long time.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to revisit the sign. I think we just want to demand that they put back our sign. It's our sign.
Well, look, I guess all I'd say is that there is this concern about keeping this relationship with Joyner. And if it turns out that keeping it requires there to be no sign there for months and months and months and months, I think we can step up the pressure and step up the language, not the language of the sign, but the language we use
Okay,
in
so
making
that's what I thought.
our request demand
Yeah.
very
Okay.
quickly. So I mean, this is a stepwise process.
Go for it.
Hey, Peter, can you confirm for Shannon? She wants to know, is the circle is city land or part of national park? And I think the circle is national park, but where the sign was city land, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
The city, the National Park Service had to get a public space permit to put the sign there. And if it were national park land, they wouldn't have had to do that. So it was because it's so hard to get to the circle, the decision was to put the sign where people actually walk by it, which is on in the sort of median there in the grass area between the sidewalk and Connecticut as it arrives at the circle on the east side. So
Okay. Any other questions or comments? So just a quick recap. I know Renee joined later, but Renee, earlier we voted to send the recommendation related to the renaming of H Street to the ANC. We all voted on that. So I just want to touch base and see if you also vote to do that or you do not.
Yes, I vote yes.
Okay, thank you. So then also Peter just gave a brief overview of his resolution from the November 10th meeting. I think you joined in on that conversation. And then the next part, what I wanted us to do as a committee was we wrote a letter in support of Peter Gosselin's resolution. I would like to get that to the ANC, and I don't think that's something that the ANC needs to discuss. It's just a letter that we send to them. So given that there may be some typos in that letter, but I just want to see if have the committee vote on sending that letter of support to the ANC.
Yep.
So does everyone vote yes for that? I guess I'll just go, are there any opposes? So none? Okay, great. And Libby as the wordsmith, were there any typos you wanted to correct? Can I send that to you too?
Yeah.
To my typos. Okay. Okay, great.
I'd like to add, Corinthia, to thank Commissioner Gosselin for taking this on. I've in my career, I've dealt with the Park Service many times, and dealing with the Park Service makes dealing with DC agencies look like a walk in the park. They can be the worst. Good luck with it.
Okay. So thank you, Peter, for joining. You're welcome to stay or you're welcome to drop off. We're
Peter.
gonna move. Oh, what did I say? Peter, you're welcome to stay or drop off.
I'm gonna drop off because I had to eat something. So
Okay.
not
right.
oatmeal, but thanks.
Thanks, Peter.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay. So I like to be efficient and get our meetings going. Time is money and money is time. So number 3 on our open discussion, this should be relatively quick. I just wanted to update the committee on the RASE discussion at the November meeting. So since January, since I joined the commission in January, we have been trying to get new members on the RASE committee, vote them in. Long story short, there have been delays, but we were able to do that. I think we voted you all in October. So then there became an issue of myself and Libby being the co-chairs. And the last time we were voted as co-chairs was April of 23, I believe. Don't quote me. So there was an issue with that. So there was an issue that we voted new members, but we didn't vote on co-chairs. So then November, we re-voted on co-chairs, which Libby and I are the co-chairs. And then we re-voted to have everyone on the committee. So typically every January and then we also, I think the next meeting we're gonna vote for people who are already on the committee. So last November 10th, we voted new members. So I think the 24th, we're gonna vote for old committee members to be on the committee again. So that was November. That's all that's gonna happen for the RASE committee in November. Something you should be aware of is we're gonna have to do it again in January. So in January, and that's why I have on here, discuss co-chairs. So in December, we should have a discussion on who's going to be the co-chairs for calendar year 26. So we can have that discussion, hopefully vote on those people being co-chairs. So once January comes, we can have it to the commission and they can vote on it. And hopefully there won't be any delays. And then the last bullet point was just to you all think about if you want to be considered for reappointment for calendar year 26 as well. So any thoughts or discussion? I know Cal, you wanted us to reorder the agenda so you can talk because you had some things you want to discuss. So I think we have about 15 minutes before you need to drop off. Anything you want to bring up?
Not necessarily. I just thought we presented and the commission voted on the new members as a slate. My question is, we can do the same with the existing members?
Oh, I think we have Commissioner Grunwald. I can't remember exactly, but I think that was one of the things you brought up at the ANC meeting. Would you like to discuss that? Because Cal, to answer, I don't know. I didn't have any
Right.
issues. But Commissioner Grunwald, could you chime in on that, please?
Doesn't appear she's there.
Okay. So thanks for bringing that up, Cal. I
Thank you.
believe at our last ANC meeting, Commissioner Grunwald wanted to vote on ANC, raise committee members individually because there is a committee member that she didn't want to be on the committee. So I don't know how we're going to do it in January, if it's going to be a slate or if we have to go individually to approve everyone. But my point on it is that if people want to be a part of the committee, people can be involved in their community. I don't care what you do with your time. So
Sounds like a December discussion topic for us.
I have
I
a
mean,
question. What do you
Hey,
mean?
Renee.
What do you mean a slate? We all joined individually as individual residents.
Yeah, but the commission doesn't vote. That list of people who decided to commit to this committee were presented to the AMC as a single group of people. That's what we mean by a slate. And the
Oh,
commission,
okay.
we didn't vote on each individual member.
Okay, I understand. But each person joined. I mean,
We joined as individuals,
right.
volunteers, individuals.
Right, but we were
Right.
appointed as a group, essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So now we're considering eliminating some of the people that are in the group.
Well,
um,
my understanding is that we are overdue for redoing this, which has to be done more frequently than we've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
it should be
And
done annually per the
Okay.
bylaws. But to answer
Okay.
your question, Renee, Commissioner Grunwald brought that up. And she's not chiming in, so I don't know if it really is worth our time trying
It
to
doesn't
figure.
really matter what we think. The ANC will
Yeah,
vote they'll have a list of people. They'll vote on them one by one or as a group, however they want.
yeah. So
I don't
that's
even see that we care.
No.
yeah,
Hey, Mary.
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Mary.
I'm sorry, I'm late getting back home. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Mary Lee. So, um, just to rewind, we voted to provide our recommendation on the renaming of H Street or
Okay.
erecting signs for H Street to the ANC. And then we also voted to support, sending in a support letter on behalf of Commissioner Gosselin's resolution for the circle and the sign that was there. And then we were just talking about next month, we're going to talk about co-chairs, and also we're going to talk about if people are interested in rejoining the commission in January. So we're going to do our voting and appointing people to the committee in January,
I mean,
even though we just did in November. So
Corinthia, though, is it really the kind of thing where we should be talking about if we're interested in rejoining the commission? I mean,
no, the committee.
the
Yeah.
committee. I mean, I think it should be more a question of if anybody doesn't want to be on the committee, because at this point we have our new members and people have just joined, so it's pretty much a it's obvious that people are joining and I would think want to continue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Thank you. So,
So, well, I have two questions. One for Commissioner Gronwell. Are you willing to answer questions now, or do you want to wait to the ANC meeting? Which is more appropriate?
We're not sure she's actually within earshot of the call because she's not responding. She's not responding.
Well, maybe she's not, maybe she's, well, I guess she could hear by now. The, just a question of maybe mute.
Okay. And then my other question is, and I guess to the group. So next month, are we talking about going name by name? Or no, next month, are we saying, okay, everyone's on the committee now, but you have to be reapproved or reappointed come January? So does that mean that everybody's going to be kicked off and then we're going to start again? So new people can also join?
So to me, this is why it makes a difference whether we present it to the commission or Lisa or whoever presents it, or Corinthia, as a slate versus an individual thing. So I think this is a December discussion for us to be prepared for the January submission to the commission.
yes, that sounds good. So, is there any other discussion on that topic point or anything else?
Maybe we'll know.
Okay, well, I got a late start, just like Mary Lee and getting home. So hopefully we can give you guys 25 minutes back and we connect on December. Our next meeting will be December. Is it the 18th?
Should
Yes.
be.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. December 18th. We can also discuss our meeting times for calendar year 26. I know we were always the third Tuesday, but my Iona committee is now on Tuesdays, third Tuesday, so I have a conflict. So we can go back to Tuesdays. If you guys want, we can stick to Thursdays, but we could talk about that in December as well. So think of agenda items if there's anything else that comes up that we should be working on. Let's add that and have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Aren't we talking about having an
Hey, Libby.
education topic in December, or is that going to move over to January?
I got to follow up with Lisa on that. She was running point on that.
Okay.
I have a question. I'm
Mhm.
sorry if you finished
No, go
answering
ahead,
it.
Renee.
Oh, okay. Have we, and I know I've missed a meeting or two or three, have we talked about doing anything for the Christmas spirit, like doing something for the community or anything? I know Blessed Sacrament, they usually pass out bags and ask for canned goods. Yeah.
We haven't discussed it, but I'm sure we'll be open to it.
Okay, and if our next meeting's December 18th, that may be a little late for us to do anything, but if we were talking about doing something as a community, go to a shelter or
Renee, I think that's a great idea. This is Brian, Renee. One of the reasons I joined this group is because I do think we ought to reinforce and celebrate the community we do have as well. And a lot of the folks we know are under pressure, and certainly the immigrant community is under a lot of pressure. And I'm glad that Corinthia, you included the link in your your letter, the Lafayette letter, about resources for people that are food challenged and that kind of thing. But I think a lot of people are doing the Toys for Tots again. I know that One Life is collecting toys, and other people are, there seems like there's a lot of year-end activity going on. Maybe we can put something on the calendar. That kind of help.
Brian?
I wanted to say, I thought we talked about this last month, and, we were leaning towards not getting involved with this topic.
Yes,
That's what I thought.
yeah, so
But I
Cal, we talked about not getting involved and developing a list of resources because there are some out there. It sounds like Brian wants to do some type of community service. Brian, if that is something of interest, please feel free to take the lead on that.
Renee, maybe
And
you and I can coordinate together too, because I think that would be great.
who did you say?
Renee, because
Okay.
Renee brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So feel free to take the lead and shoot it to us. And for those of us on the committee and in the community, if we're available, I'm sure we can join in.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do things on their own, like with their families or with their schools or with, so if you're talking about organizing something that RACE would do as a group, it would be great to have somebody who would take that lead.
Okay. Mhm.
Good idea.
All right. So with that, I think we can close. Anything else? Any last tidbits before I stop recording and end the meeting?
I'm going to bed. It's 1 o'clock in the morning for me.
Okay, well, have a good
Where are
night.
you, Libby?
I'm in Cambridge in the UK.
Uh,